Who that said they gonna beat them Bengals? Well, let's find out together. We're doing the 2025 NFL schedule for all 32 NFL franchises. If you're just stumbling upon this lovely old YouTube channel, make sure you guys give us a nice subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, sign off down below. Let me know your thoughts on the schedule of the Bengals, who they could win or lose to, games you're looking forward to, record prediction, things to look forward to as Joe Burrow, Moneybag Joe, tries to get back to the postseason. Had an MVP caliber season last year. Is Zach Taylor possibly on the hot seat if they don't make the playoffs? They re-signed T. Higgins, as I predicted if you watched the show. Jamar Chase got paid. We don't know what's going on with Trey Hendrickson, but I do think he will still be a part of this team at least this season. But let's look at the schedule. Let's look at who they play. Let's look at how this season could go because I think the Bengals are poised for a run back to the postseason. As mentioned, the Bengals last season had no problems on the offensive side. One of the best offenses in the NFL, and if they would have snuck into the playoffs, which they almost did, Joe Burrow no doubt would have got serious consideration to win MVP. You bring back Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, Chase Brown. You draft some old linemen. You did draft Shamar Stewart in the first round. That could be a boom or bust pick. I didn't love Shamar Stewart. 4.5 sacks in 3 years, pretty much a sack and a half a year. Not a lot of production, but athletically gifted. They needed defense, so they're trying to get someone opposite Trey Hendrickson just in case they may trade him or just in case that he is no longer with the Bengals, maybe potentially going into this season. They do have a pass rusher. They're bringing Al Golden from Notre Dame to run the defense. Remember, Notre Dame has had one of the best defenses in college football over the past few years. I'm really intrigued to see what this team can be. Like I said, there's always teams that fluctuate in and fluctuate out. 5 in, 5 out. I think the Bengals will get in. I haven't even looked at the schedule really, but I think they are going to be a playoff team before we do this exercise. But I didn't love their draft, but honestly speaking, they're going to be able to score at will. And I think they could be one of the top 5 offenses in the NFL. And honestly, if their defense just can be like 20, they'll be even better. But they start in Cleveland. That is always a tough game, the Battle of Ohio. I think they'll split with Cleveland. I think Cleveland is going to find a way to win a game like early in week one. I think they beat Cincinnati. Now, the key for Cincinnati is not starting out 0-2, 0-3, 1-4, 2-5, because they get hot at the end and then it's a little too late. If they just could have maybe won a game or two in the beginning, they would have set themselves up in the beginning or in the end to make a playoff run. Now, I do think they lose to Cleveland week one. That's a Fox 1 p.m. game. A lot of AFC games on Fox. That's funny because they got the quarterbacks. So I think they lose to Cleveland week one. I think they beat Jacksonville week two. I think they lose to Minnesota in week three. They go to Minnesota. Then they go to Denver. That is a Monday night game. I think they win that. So I think in the first four, 2-2. 2-2 is realistic. If they go 2-2, that's a great start. 500. That's better than 1-3, 0-4. Then they get Detroit at home, 425 Fox game. Again, I think they win that to get to 3-2. Then they go to Green Bay. I think that'll be 3-3. So that's a tough game. An early Green Bay game is better than a late Green Bay game, but I think they lose that. So they'll be 3-3 after 6. They just need to hold their heads right above water. And that's all they're going to do in the first 6 weeks. Like I said, I think they could score 30 points a game. They may give up 35, but they can score a lot of points. Then they have Pittsburgh, the Jets, and the Bears back-to-back home games. The Pittsburgh game's a Thursday game. The Jets game's at 1 p.m. and the Bears is 1 p.m. before week 10 bye. A nice late bye. I think they win all 3. So I think they get to 6-3 heading into the bye after 9 games. I think they win all 3, Pittsburgh, the Jets, and the Bears. So Steelers, Jets, Bears, I think they win all 3, get to 6-3. Then they go to Pittsburgh after the bye. I'm going to say they lose that. I'm going to say 6-4. I think they split with Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Baltimore. So 6-4. I think they beat New England at home, 1 o'clock game, 7-4. Thanksgiving night in Baltimore. That's going to be a fun one. That could go either way, but I'm gonna say they lose. They go to 7-5, but then they go to Buffalo the following week, a 425 game. I think they win that. I think they win that and get to what would that be? 8-5. I think I had them at 6-3, so 6-4, 7-4, 7-5. So I'm gonna say 8-5. I think they beat Buffalo. I think they beat Buffalo in Buffalo, and then they beat Baltimore at home. So 9-5 at Miami, 9-5. Ooh, that's tough. See, because now I'm thinking about it. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. Cleveland, Jacksonville, Minnesota, Denver, 2-2. Detroit, Green Bay, 3-3. Then they win all 3, 6-3. Then they have a bye week. Then they look forward to get New England, 7-4. They lose to Baltimore, 7-5. They beat Buffalo, 8-5. They beat Baltimore at home, 9-5. Then I think because they beaten Baltimore, Buffalo in that span, and I think they lose at Miami. They lay a stinker, a Bengal stinker, 8-6. But then I think honestly, Arizona and Cleveland, those last two games, week 18 could be a flex game, week 17 also a flex game, could be playoff potential with that Arizona game. I see maybe 11-6. I think 11 wins is feasible, even with the problems on defense, the uncertainty with Trey Hendrickson. I think bringing in Al Golden, Shamar Stewart may be able to give them something defensively. They won't be worse. They won't be as bad as they were last year. I'll say that. And I think offensively they will be electrifying, especially if they can stay healthy. So I'm going 11-6. I think that puts them right behind the Ravens in the North at 12-5. I think the Bengals will not win the division, but I think they are a wild card team at 11-6. Maybe the top wild card that you don't want to see wild card weekend, maybe playing the lowest ranked division winner. I think Joe Burrow will be in the MVP conversation. I think if Higgins and Chase are healthy, both will have over probably around 1,500 plus yards apiece, 10 touchdowns. Gesicki will do great. Chase Brown will probably run for 1,000 yards. I think this offense will be prolific and really be even possibly better than last year. And I think defensively, they won't be as bad as they were. Like I said, they can be in like 20 through 22 in that range for total defense. I think that is going to very, very, very much help them as well because the problem with them was they gave up a lot of big plays on defense, especially with the safeties and corners. And if they can just limit that and just keep themselves from breaking, just bend a little bit, maybe give up field goals and not as many touchdowns, just give up 24 a game because your offense is going to get you 27-31 a night. So I think 11-6 is feasible. I think they have a solid schedule. It does get a little tough in the middle, but I think, like I said, that Baltimore, Buffalo, Baltimore 3 game stretch, I think they can go 2-1. They may lose now. If they can win that and win in Miami, they could be maybe at 12 wins. But I'm going to say 11-6 for the Bengals. I think they are a wild card team right behind the Ravens in the North. Now, if the Ravens mess around and play around and their schedule catches them, they could win a division. They both could be 11-6, 12-5, and it could come down to tiebreakers 1-on-1, and they could be fighting out. But I think the Ravens and the Bengals are the two teams in the AFC North that are going to be playoff bound. I think the Bengals are going to be a team you got to look out for. I think they missed it last year barely. I think they won't start as bad as they've started in previous years. Like I said, I think they can just keep their heads above water, 2-2, 3-2, 4-3. Then I think the middle of the season where they really start to find their stride and they're really peaking, and then they can win some of those tough games. I think, and then end with some favorable home games. I think double digit wins minimum, but I'm going to say 11-6, a wild card for the Cincinnati Bengals. If you're new here, who that said they're going to be the flex zone? Nobody. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Hit the bell. It costs you nothing. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the Bengals schedule and what you're looking forward to seeing for this team this season. I really, really like the upside for them. Like I said, 11 wins is feasible. Let me know. We're going through all 32 teams right here on the Flex Zone Podcast.